Do we think that like they know GTA is coming out and like you are obviously going to probably buy a PS5
Is it really
for GTA?
like?
That's cynical.
Yeah, that's very cynical. But like, I also don't know. Maybe, who knows?
It's a hot take. Hello and welcome to the Press Start podcast, the Press Start video game discussion podcast. I'm your host, Ewan, and I'm joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, Brody.
Hello, I can't believe you didn't want to take that again.
I was tempted, but I'm just powering through. Why not? It's all fast and loose here. Where are we up to now, James? Also joining us today is
Hello.
James.
Here I am.
And last but not least, it was Shannon.
Hello.
Do you want me to take it again,
No.
Brody? Would that make you feel happier? No,
Not at all.
Well,
We're
on the
all going to sit in it now. So
yeah. On the show this week, we're going to be discussing, if I can get my words out, the PlayStation price increase, the marathon reveal, and the controversy around its price, and a bunch of new game announcements and rumors. But first, the first episode of The Last of Us Season 2 aired this week. I'm trusting you guys all watched it. Shannon, what did you make of the debut to Season 2?
I didn't know what was going to happen, I guess, like knowing what happens in the story and like knowing how the first season went. I think it was good. I think it was good. It was a little bit slower than I thought it could be, and I think it was very similar to the first season in the sense that like 80% of it was similar, but then like it added a new bits that I think you can see like what's going to happen and what's going to be expanded upon, like Joel in therapy and a few other little bits and pieces. I liked it.
Yeah. I like what they kind of added to Jackson and kind of building out that setting a little bit more and some of the characters there a little bit. I think in the game, it maybe moves through that section pretty quickly. I was a little taken aback by seeing Abby so early and kind of a bit more of her motivations kind of laid bare so early as well. It's
hard though,
because how the game handled it, but
we know what happens, right? And like we know all about Abby, where like people would be watching this and not knowing anything. So it's kind of hard to come at it with that perspective.
I do feel like the show is very much structured in such a way to offer fans of the game something new as well. I'm curious to see how the season continues, how much more it deviates.
Say that Abby, I don't know about, like she's a great actor and I loved her in Apple Cider Vinegar, but I don't know, I don't really see her as Abby. Just like everything we know about Abby and like what sets her apart. Again, I'm not going to cast judgment because we literally had like a minute or two of like seeing her, and she's a great actor, so I'm going to trust in the process. But like just physically, I don't see Abby in her yet.
I think the real test is coming up, right? Like,
well, yeah, that's it.
We'll have to see. I know a lot of people are taking issue with like her physicality and just not like looking the same as the character. I guess that doesn't really faze me too much.
it probably helps that Bella Ramsey's like still 4'10", so
But Bella's
I
almost
think she's
like bigger than
pretty
her.
Intimidating compared to her. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess until we see them like on screen together, it's a little hard to gauge. But I think like the ferocity is going to be more of the
and
the
she's a great
important thing,
actor, so I trust that.
Yeah, for sure. Brady, did you enjoy yourself as well?
I did, yeah. Like Shannon, I like how they're fleshing out a lot of the things to do with Jackson, and I think what we all are waiting for is probably going to happen in the next episode, but I think it is going to be very different to the game. Like the way they're framing it to be this big set piece at Jackson and stuff like that, I think it might sort of all tie into that rather than be sort of how it was in the game. So I do like how they're approaching things differently. And like the Ellie that Bella Ramsey is playing is a very different kind of Ellie to the game as well. Like she's very differently motivated currently. So
there wasn't a correct. I've honestly never replayed through The Last of Us Part 2. I played a lot of the Horde mode or the roguelite mode, but I've never played through the story. There wasn't like an infected attack on Jackson near the start, like they're building up to in this, was there? Like I think that's going to be a definite part of the story. Okay, that's interesting. I like that.
It's probably to give sort of two planes of action to keep, characters like Tommy and Maria in the story throughout, because they like disappear for 20 hours in the middle of the game. So
Yeah, it's interesting as well, like the kind of politics of it, like trying to recruit more people into the city and like expand it, and like you didn't really get much of a sense of that in the game. And similarly, like this kind of threat of like a potential horde attack too, which again isn't something that was ever really mentioned in the game. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where this season goes, and then where it kind of leads into season 3, which has already been greenlit as well, which I don't think comes as any surprise. I sort of feel like seasons 2 and 3 were probably shot in tandem, so I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long for the next season. It's not like another 2 years or whatever, but yeah. James, I wanted to ask you specifically, I don't want to stay on Last of Us too much longer, but the stalker that was kind of shown in the episode, did you get much of a kick of the...
Did you watch it? Hang on.
Did you watch it? You're giving me a look right now. Did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I didn't even know it was out. Yeah. Sorry.
James, and you didn't know it was out. How did you avoid it?
I didn't... What do you mean? Like, I don't... Yeah.
Maybe it's just my...
I'm glad...
I like the stalker. I think they did that well.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it was
Super.
like not as like gamey, but I think like you knew it was a stalker and like what they were doing with that.
It was sort of
And just
cliche
as a
without feeling
freaky.
cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but very cool horror elements, which I didn't sort of expect, I guess, in episode 1.
I feel like they were the cooler bits of the game. Like, so...
A lot of the like gamey
for
bits
sure.
that they put into the episode were cool, like obviously throwing the bottles and stuff, and you know climbing up on vans to get into like the supermarket and stuff. It was like, oh yeah, this is a game show.
There were lots of like little touches like that. Like even when this is super nerdy, but like when she grabs the knife as she leaves the room, like I'm fairly sure that was the cue to leave the room in the game, was pressing triangle to grab that knife. So little things like that. I was like, nice touches, attention to detail. I appreciate. Anyhow, I could go deep down the rabbit hole that is The Last of Us, but we better crack on with this week's news, starting with the PlayStation price increases. PlayStation confirmed that PlayStation Plus is getting a price increase in Australia. The new prices have already taken effect as of recording, with the PlayStation Plus Essential subscription going up $1 per month to $12.95 or $102.95 a year, which personally feels a little bit rougher. The fact that it's now over that $100 mark for a year is a bit rough. What's your thoughts on it, Shannon?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of money. Like you'd have to, I think, and the sentiment that I'm seeing online in like Facebook groups and stuff is that like it's at the point now where you're thinking about like how much do you use these services, not only for PlayStation Plus, but like I got a thing that my Disney Plus is going up today, and it's at the point now where it's like above $20 a month. So you're actually thinking like, do I use this enough to justify it? And I think that's the case here. Like I don't really play online at all on my PS5. So like I'm stacked for like 2 years, but if I wasn't, and this wasn't my job, like I don't know if I could justify any form of PlayStation Plus, to be honest, or any gaming subscription. So it is a lot of money. I don't really know the economics behind it and like why they're doing it. Like, is it just that all of these companies are doing it, so like they feel like they can do it? But it's at the point now where like, yeah, it's enough off your credit card each month, and there's enough of these services. HBO Max is another one that just launched with The Last of Us, that you're thinking like, what do I actually use and what do I not use, or like what can I scale back or what can I turn off and on? Yeah, it's a chunky amount of money.
I'm on a rotation now with my streaming services. Like I dial one off and turn another on as I think it's fair. Stuff I want to watch. Which I think is just like good practice, right? But PlayStation, it's kind of a constant. Like I'm always on my PlayStation, like every night, every second night or whatever, that I kind of need that on, and I pay the year in advance. And now
you play a lot with friends though, so that makes sense.
And I do play a lot with friends, yeah. But that $100 hit like once a year now is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's not us, yeah.
Well, stick around after the show tonight, James. We might be playing something together. In addition to this news as well, PlayStation announced that PS5 consoles would be going up in certain markets, which includes Australia. The PS5 Digital Edition will now cost $749.95, up from $679.95. And the PS5 Disc Edition will now cost $829.95, up from $799.95. I think it's worth noting though that the disk drive did get a slight decrease, so yeah, maybe that helps soften this blow somewhat. The PlayStation 5 Pro, as far as I can tell, though, is unchanged. To like still retails for $100 or $1,200. Sorry, $1,199. Brody, first to you on this. It's unprecedented, really, for a console to go up in price mid-generation rather than down. But are you surprised at all to see these price hikes?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I was talking to Shannon about it earlier in the week, and he made the joke that my digital console has now gone up in value. So that's good for me.
It's appreciated.
Yeah, it's appreciated in value. It is surprising. Yeah, like you don't read about tech going up in price 5 years into its life cycle. It seems to be a rather strange move. So I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any good way to spin the optics about it. I don't think people are really thrilled about it, but most of the people they're probably targeting already in their market. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to know why. Like, have they given any justification to it, or is it just sort of, it is what it is?
People think that it's like they don't want to rise the US price because like Xbox and PlayStation have wanted to stay steady on that, but like tariffs obviously a thing. I don't even think it's that. I think that there's that little margin in all of this stuff at the moment that like if stuff is going up in price, like you don't have an opportunity to raise the price because there's not one of these releasing like every year like a phone, right? So like you just have to raise it because there's no margin in it. Again, I don't know if that's true, like because we don't know the exact breakdowns, but you'd have to imagine like it's literally just that.
Yeah, I'd love to have like an economist on the show or something to like explain this to us, some of it. But I wondered if exchange rates were kind of part of it as well, because Australia's dollar is not particularly strong at the moment. I wonder if that kind of factored into it. They need more Aussie dollars to kind of equate to the same value.
It was like the UK and Australia, right? Or like Europe and Australia or something.
I think Canada might have been caught up in it as well. But yeah, like it feels targeted to markets, I think, that are experiencing a bit of a downturn in the value of their currency. I just opened like Facebook Marketplace out of curiosity to see what like is happening on the secondhand market there. And there's nothing below $500 for a PlayStation 5 as far as I can see. A lot around like the 600, 650 mark.
I'm getting out. Sell high.
Someone's selling an unopened 30th anniversary edition. For $850, and I'm like, that suddenly sounds like a pretty good deal. Maybe
are there any that you can see that are a digital with a PSVR 2? Because I could see myself putting that away.
You could do a bundle deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of unreal. James, do you have an opinion on the price increases, both of the subscription and the console itself?
No, I mean, sorry.
Just loads of opinions.
I feel like, we've started with The Last of Us and then price of things, which like I am very well known for just spending whatever on whatever without thinking about it. I have very bad money saving things. But I think it's just weird. Like, this has gone up twice. The PlayStation 5 has now gone up price twice now. And traditionally, obviously, throughout the generation, you see prices go down. And you could probably even argue there's less games coming out as well. So it's like the value proposition is dropping a little bit for people.
Yeah.
Do we think that like they know GTA is coming out and like you are obviously going to probably buy a PS5
is it really
with GTA?
like
that's cynical?
That's very cynical. But like I also don't know. Maybe, who knows?
It's a hot take.
But like I would assume if that's going to be the game to get a lot of people to upgrade, I don't think that like they're doing it to take advantage. I think they've just like, it's possible that they've said like, if we're going to raise it to make money or like break even, like let's do it now.
I think you're right in that is the game that people will buy a new console for. As to whether it's actually happening because of that, I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying they're
but then
doing
I don't
it to
understand
capitalize on
why
that.
has the disc drive gone down then either? Like it doesn't. What's the go there? I don't know.
That's like one component. So I guess there's more probably margin on that to drop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just a disc drive. Like it literally.
Yeah. I don't know, Ewan and Shannon and Brody. Just to address everyone. I don't know. I think it's a bit shit personally.
Yeah.
But it suddenly makes the Switch 2. Like, everyone's like, the Switch 2 is only $100 more, you get a PS5, and it's like now it's a little bit more than that. So maybe Nintendo's happy at the same time.
I will say, like, I know that tech normally goes down, but like that just hasn't been the case for a long time. Like the Switch never really got a price drop from launch.
You're right,
and like a lot, like it hasn't been the case in tech, and we've just been like through weird times over the last like 5 years.
Yeah, I think we have gotten pretty accustomed to like gaming being quite affordable, but it wasn't always that way, right? Like I remember as a kid, like people having the next generation console was kind of few and far between.
Like in 2015,
people might not have many games.
When you was a kid.
Like I bought a GameCube for $99, I think. Like at one point, it was like under 100.
Like a colossal failure, though. Like I feel like you also probably could have bought a Wii U for that at some point in the last decade.
Yeah, I don't know. Gaming's just feeling, I guess to my point, like gaming's feeling more of a luxury than it has been in a while. And it's getting like harder to justify spending on like the latest game or the latest console. Well, maybe it depends on where you're sort of prioritizing your spending as well, right? But for those juggling like a million different things, and
I think
family and kids
if
and
you're
all that, it's
someone
tough.
who like plays GTA and FIFA and Fortnite, like I guess it's probably a harder sell, right? Than
the reason I bought up GTA is because like I don't really know who this affects, right? Like the PS5's been out for coming up to 5 years. I feel like if you've wanted one, like you bought one as soon as you could get one for cheaper. Yeah. So I don't really know who this does affect.
GTA 5 as well. Like I feel like wait, what was your point? I feel like I missed your point. Are you saying everyone?
I don't know what.
Right. No.
The reason I bought up the GTA 6 thing is because, like, I don't think people are just going to buy a PS5 to, like, play Astro Bot on a Thursday.
No one's doing
like,
that.
maybe...
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, that's... It feels like the next big thing that, like, would move people to that is GTA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
No, you do know. You're right.
I do. I'm 100% confident in my...
Yeah. I feel like I think everyone who really, really wants one already has one, I feel, personally.
But I don't know if that's a good thing either. Like, it should be getting cheaper, because I guess if you haven't bought one, you're probably not going to pay more than you would have 5 years ago to buy one today.
It becomes a harder sell for sure, even with a GTA 6.
Do they want to grow the platform? Like, is raising the price and releasing less games the best way?
They don't. They want to just end it, I think,
at
this point.
I feel like, I don't know. They could be really aggressive and just like destroy Xbox. I mean, they're doing that.
Yeah,
Xbox
you're right.
is doing that themselves as well. But they could also just like, kick them while they're down for the last 5 years.
It probably is just that like there is no competition, and the Switch 2 is expensive, right? So actually, like it's not as if it's like...
That is a really good point. Like there really is no competition at the moment.
I think generally, like at this point in the cycle too, like, I mean, I guess the Slim edition and the digital edition and stuff are already kind of like cutting some of the manufacturing costs down, but I don't know if there's much more they can do with that while still getting the same power out of the console. So I do feel like we're just at a bit of a difficult point in terms of like how much cheaper the unit costs can kind of come down. But like the threshold has just crept up and up and up, and that's how things go.
Maybe the PS5 Pro is selling that well that they're just going to creep it up to $1,150 and have both above $1,000.
I would love to know how many PS5 Pros they've sold. I don't know anyone that has one.
Other than I know. I bought one. I don't really know.
At least two of us.
In retrospect, I don't know why I did, but Death Stranding 2. That's why. Yeah.
Forget GTA 6. Death Stranding 2 is.
I don't care. Game. Yeah, GTA 6. Yeah, I can take or leave that personally.
All right.
Anyway,
I reckon we move on.
Yeah,
we've done
absolutely.
this today.
We have.
Price hikes suck, but I guess it's the reality we're all living in. Let's talk about a different reality, and that is the one that Bungie revealed in the week with their reveal of Marathon, its upcoming team-based extraction shooter, launching September 23rd, 2025. Rather excitingly to me, is going to be supporting crossplay and cross-save on all platforms when it releases as well. Brody, I'm coming to you first on this one as the biggest kind of Bungie/Destiny fan I know. What did you make of the gameplay reveal?
Yeah, pretty much what I sort of had expected, I suppose, based on my limited knowledge of what extraction shooters are. Like, it occurred to me that I don't think I've actually played one. So, yeah, like this game
Division?
so far...
Did you play any of the Division mode?
The Division,
No.
surely.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Just
the only thing
Destiny.
I've played that probably has any form of extraction involved is probably like Titanfall, where like you play the match and then have to escape. Like, is that similar?
Oh.
Were you exfil? I don't know. In any case,
Anyway.
yeah, like this is a game that I guess has been carried largely by vibes so far. So it checks that box for me. But yeah, with gameplay, like look, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about it. Like I think I'm going to need to get hands on with a beta or something like that before I take the plunge. Obviously, due to the fact it's also not free to play, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, I mean, would I like a Destiny 3 instead, perhaps? Would I like them to do a campaign, considering how much focus they're putting into the lore and stuff? Yes. But yeah, for it to be just a straight up PvPvE thing, yeah, I think I'll have to... And look, I trust Bungie to like nail the gunplay and stuff because they are very good at that side of things. So look, I don't doubt the game will be mechanically tight and all that sort of stuff. It's just whether that core loop of whatever the game actually is, whether that can hold my attention season to season. Yeah.
I was pleased to see that like some of the character classes that I thought worked so well in Destiny would kind of seem to be emulated in this too. Like it's a bit kind of archetypal and you've got like the healer support player, you've got kind of the recon character, and then the kind of more assault sort of focused one. But yeah, they looked like kind of three quite compelling characters. I like that you weren't like a whole team could play as the one character as well to kind of introduce some different kind of class setups, that sort of thing, or squad setups, I should say. So yeah, that kind of appealed to me too. But yeah, like you, I'm kind of eager to jump in on a demo and try and pull a bit of a squad together and see what we get out of it. James, I know this kind of game isn't really your cup of tea. I'm trying to get a reading of your body language here.
I think I don't think I haven't looked at Marathon, like the very first one, since I played it on 360 years ago. But this doesn't really look like that, right? Am I right in assuming?
I know nothing about the IP.
No,
this almost
it's very
is like
much
Marathon in name only, basically. Yeah. So like I can't help but wonder like what are they doing in terms of that aspect of it? Like it feels a bit like out of place. But I think it looks good. I think like the vibe is good. But I think if there was like some like, I don't know, really sweaty Marathon fan who like, you know, played all of them in the past and they're probably looking at this and like disgusted. And I kind of understand that, but I still think so far it's like past the vibe check for me, but like mechanically speaking, I don't know what this does differently. Like where is the hook, right? Like in terms of, because I've looked into this like quite a bit and I'm just like, where is the hook here compared to say the Dark Zone?
That like sets it apart from other in the genre.
Yeah, or like Rainbow Six Extraction. I'm not saying that those games are better, but I'm just saying like if those games didn't captivate me in any way, what's this doing differently besides the pedigree, which like is a big part of it, I will admit. Like I think none of us can deny like Destiny like changed the genre, like almost created that genre, right? But like I don't know if that's the same Bungie today as it was back then. Which, like, it sounds
Halo?
like
is this the next Halo?
No, but then what do you like, Halo now or Halo back in the day? Because that's two very different.
Well,
things.
when Bungie were doing it, I don't know.
But yeah,
it's a very.
I feel like I'm probably reading into too much from like a very short gameplay trailer. But like, I just think with how things are with games in terms of like games as a service and all of that and how these things go, like what is this doing differently to other stuff that besides it looking really good. Like visually, it's quite solid.
I think that tees up my next question for you all quite well. And I wanted to call out that after the gameplay reveal for Marathon, it was confirmed that the game will not be adopting a free-to-play model, instead opting for a premium paid model. Although it wasn't detailed what that premium was, what the price of it was. I think people are kind of making the assumption it'll be kind of priced in the same way Concord was.
Like $60 to $80 or something, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be like... I think it'll be like 50. What was Helldivers?
I think that was like 40 Australian, 50 Australian.
I think it'll come in at like 50-ish or 60-ish, which like I think that this has got a better chance than Concord just based on what it is, the style. Like I know a lot of people are shitting on it, but I think I do think
if it wasn't made by Bungie, it wouldn't have that chance.
Like that is everything. That's everything in our industry. Like
dead in the water.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point, especially with fair games. Like we don't care. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I don't think like anyone here is like a.
We haven't seen fair. Like it could end up being the best game of all time.
And that's definitely gonna happen. But I feel like the reason anybody is giving a project like this the chance is because of Bungie, which is what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Like their pedigree definitely is a huge factor here.
I will say, like, Bungie's like shut on every live service PlayStation game that they've been working on, including The Last of Us. So this better be the best thing ever.
Shut everything down.
And that's the other thing. Like, why does this game survive? Not like I'm not saying it shouldn't, but like
Bungie didn't cancel their own game.
But as a brand,
Bungie know how to support a game like post-launch. Like, I think that's the integral thing. And I think it was in communicating with Naughty Dog about what that requires. Naughty Dog were like, well, we've got other things we want to go and make. We don't want to keep supporting this.
I just think with this game, though, with games like this, it is very important they just nail it from the beginning. And I don't have the exact numbers on me right now, but like in terms of the amount of maps and the characters that you can play as from the beginning and stuff, it doesn't sound like a lot.
Like 3 maps at launch, 4th is coming. And you get 1 in like the next 3 months, assuming that's how long the seasons are. Like, That said, I think there was a little bit of a leak about like what that 4th map might entail, and it sounds like it's going to be like very like Destiny raid mechanics heavy. Like you go through like segments of the map basically, which are very like a raid from Destiny, and that really appeals to me because some of those raids, especially like in late Destiny 2, like were crazy good. So that is intriguing. Whether it appeals to like a casual shooter fan who is just going to jump in, like I don't know, probably not, but yeah.
The thing with them charging $50 is like I don't think it needs to have like a 3-year life. Like Helldivers, I don't feel like anyone talks about or plays anymore, and it made PlayStation like more money than anything else they've done in the last like decade. So I feel like it just needs like a good start and like that moment where everyone's jumping in, and like it'll be fine for them.
Yeah. Helldivers 2, by the way, just a quick fact check. It's $60 Australian on the PlayStation Store. But, I mean, it's like retail. You can get it for $40 at this point in time.
Wow.
See, I could see that being the price that they launched Marathon at for sure.
Yeah.
I just think, like, it feels so close. And,
it does.
I feel like it seems like, isn't the alpha, like, soon? Like, I feel like an alpha this close is it.
It's a closed alpha, but it's not. It's only open to, like, very few regions.
Yeah,
I think that'll be important too. I think that shot Concord in the foot with its alpha or it's early, they kind of, it was initially going to be closed and then they opened it up to everyone. And the first weekend, people jumped in and played it, and then by the time the second weekend came around, no one wanted to play it anymore.
I think I think this is already starting off better than Concord did. Like I feel like people looked at the trailer and they were largely positive, whereas I feel like with Concord it was definitely. This looks cool, and then you found it was a hero shooting, and that was it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was quite like in terms of its characters and kind of story, maybe a little bit derivative, right? Like everyone kind of drew the parallel to Guardians of the Galaxy, where Marathon has a bit more of a distinct look and feel.
I think as well, the lore behind, even though the story won't be front and center, like the lore will be quite deep and rich, which is what Bungie people want, right?
Well, and you would think that like
gameplay loop is strong.
Any Destiny fan is going to at least look at this and be interested, right? So like that's already off to a better start than what Concord would have been.
Yeah.
Is it?
It reminded me a lot of Apex Legends as well. Looking at it, granted, not a battle royale, but just the kind of like class mechanics and the way you kind of enter these kind of 3v3 sort of battles reminded me a lot of that. So that's got me excited, being a massive Apex Legends fan. Hopefully I get to give the game a go when those alpha periods
Hopefully
open.
it makes it that far.
Now that's not.
Look, it's already made it far further than I think Fair Games ever will.
They won't even make it to alpha, says you.
I think there's a reason we haven't heard about that game in a while, to be honest.
I don't know how the game will end up, but like the visual identity of the game is strong. Brody's wearing a cap there, in case anyone, just show us the cap,
True.
Brody. And I just feel like a lot of it is very strong identity wise. So like, nothing is a sure thing in this industry. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but yeah, so far so good.
If they don't make any money from the game, they'll make money from the merch.
100%. With
You're
Brody
gonna give it a
modeling a
go.
cap, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some other new games that were kind of revealed or teased in some capacity in this week. Star Wars Zero Company is a new single-player turn-based tactics game developed by BitReactor in collaboration with Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games. Brody, I see you shaking your head. Is this a pass for you?
Yeah, hard pass.
Turn-based tactics game.
Look, I don't mind those.
Not my cup of tea.
I don't mind like your XComs and even Gears tactics and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's not the Star Wars game I want. No way, shape, or form.
From
especially one that's especially one that's got Respawn attached. Like
BitReactor are kind of leading the development of this, and they did work on XCOM games. Not as like the primary developer, I think, but maybe as a kind of support studio. But that maybe is probably kind of an advantage, I guess, to them kind of coming to this kind of style of game. But yeah, personally, not my
It's a galaxy I
cup of
want to
tea.
keep far, far away from me. So
Oh my god.
Well done. Well done. He's already got the tagline prepared. Look at that. James, Kronos The New Dawn, the new horror IP from Bloober Team coming out later this year, got a new gameplay reveal trailer. What did you make of that?
Yeah. It looks good. I'm
glad you watched this.
Okay. Well,
he was always going to be seated for this.
yeah. No, I think this looks good. I think I feel like with Bloober, I've always said they're really good at getting the atmosphere and the vibe down for all of their games, but they've always kind of fallen short mechanically. And Silent Hill 2 kind of turned that around for me, and now this looks really cool. I like how they're kind of gimping Dead Space, and that's the other thing I want to say quickly is like I don't know if this is going to be like a horror or like action horror, like Dead Space vibes, but I do like how they've kind of gimped the dismemberment idea of like Dead Space in a way, but in reverse, like if you kind of cut things up or injure enemies, they'll kind of merge into each other to create something new. Like I think that's a really cool way. That's something new, right? That's something that hasn't really been seen. Maybe I can't think, but in like a horror game like that.
We're gonna get some Rat King-like things.
I still don't believe it's this year. For some reason, I don't know. I think with Silent Hill as well, like they might steer clear for that because that's probably September or something. Apparently, I don't see it coming this year, and I probably think it's probably best for them to give it a chance to breathe because it's a new IP and stuff. But yeah, I think they're doing well. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I'm really excited just to kind of have followed like Bloober kind of on this journey and seeing them kind of evolve and like gradually kind of add more and more kind of layers of kind of polish and complexity to their games as well, right? And I think even like looking at the gunplay in this, it looked a step above what we saw in Silent Hill 2. And you've mentioned this before, I'm sure, James, but it looks like Silent Hill 2 was very much like kind of, all right, let's work with this known IP and kind of try our hand at this kind of style a game, this kind of tier of a game, and learn some lessons that we can kind of carry forward into something of our own. And I think you can see all that happening here. And yeah, it obviously borrows heavily from Dead Space 2, but still kind of adds a bit of a new sort of direction. Like there seems to be a lot more kind of I don't know, like Bluebirdness to it. Like it looks like quite cerebral in some of the kind of glimpses that you get of things here and there. So yeah, that's got me excited too. I think this could shape up to be a really cool game.
I think they could do some cool stuff as well with the horror. Like Silent Hill is a very specific type of horror, and I'm sure they were kind of, what's the word? Like limited in what they could do. There are some things that those games do that aren't very. This game will do that isn't very Silent Hill-y. So, yeah.
Yeah. And like the playable character, I think has such a cool like look and style, and the other character that like it hints at the end like had me really intrigued as well. So I'm curious to see what they do with the story in this too. It's ticking all the right boxes for me at this stage. The final game I wanted to mention though is the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. It's long been rumored, and just this week Jeff Grubb hinted that a stealth drop might even be on the cards next week for the game. But a bunch of artwork and screenshots for the game leaked courtesy of the developer's website this kind of past week, which kind of is probably our strongest indication yet that this is indeed real and kind of right around the corner. Shannon, assuming it is absolutely real at this point and presumably quite imminent, are you eager to play it? Could you see yourself making time, like in the next couple of weeks even, to dive into a remaster of Oblivion?
I think so. Like Skyrim is one of my favorite games in terms of games that I put like 50 to 100 hours into. And I probably like jumped into Oblivion, but I feel like I've never really played it, and I feel like a lot of people would be in that bucket as well. And this looks fantastic. Like it's called remastered, but it looks to me to be more of a remake. So 100%, I'll at least try it. I don't know if it'll grab me. I don't really know a lot about Oblivion, but a lot of people love it, and that's good enough for me. The circumstances around the game are just bizarre, though, I will say.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit disappointed to see it just kind of shadow dropped, particularly if it is like as imminent as it seems to be. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but like there's just a lot of games coming out, and particularly for Xbox at the moment, there's a lot of games coming out. So it just seems a bit weird that they would kind of like release everything in the first half of this year, where the back half of the year looks a little bit on the quieter side.
In January, they're like,
and
hey, let's spotlight this new RPG from this new French studio, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and then let's just drop a remake of Oblivion right on top of it, and no one will give a shit. So,
it's a huge game. Like, I know a lot of people probably, like, it's not as big as Skyrim, but, like, I think it has the potential to be, like, the biggest game they released this year, even above, like, Doom or whatever else they've got coming. So it's a weird one for me.
It's also,
and there's people that have long been wanting a remaster/remake of Oblivion, and there were those modders that were like bringing it into the Skyrim engine, I think, or using Skyrim assets to remake it. And I really feel for them as well, because it's just like it just kind of undoes all their hard work having this official release come out. I think
those projects will be quite different though. Like I still think there will be, because this is like the official remaster has a very distinct artistic direction that is different to what Oblivion was, and which will be different to what Sky Oblivion will be. So yeah, I don't know. I still think like they've got, like with Game Pass, right? Like the idea is like keep people like subscribed. Like there's been months where nothing has really come out, so I don't know why they didn't save it for a month where they didn't have anything. Yeah. But
or a month down the track that they have nothing. Like I don't think there's any real rush to release this, right? Like.
That's what I mean.
Give like, Claire Obscure its month, give Doom the Dark Ages its month, and then put this one out the month after.
We don't know enough about this. Like, it could be bad or something. Like, it could be awful or something, to the point that they don't want to advertise it. Like, I don't know what... We don't know anything about it, which is, like, weird. Like, apart from the few leaks that we have had.
Fair enough,
just weird. Like, I feel like Fallout 3 was also rumored with this, right? And that to me makes more sense to rush out for like the show or something. But this like doesn't really have any like beats tied to it. It's just coming now, and I don't know. I think, and also I don't know if you guys agree or not, or if you've even played them. But like I think Morrowind is like a better choice. Like of all that's the one nobody's played. But then I feel like maybe Oblivion, that's the one that made Bethesda like big on consoles, right? So yeah, I mean, it was my first Bethesda game,
and it's like Xbox. Like there is a history with Xbox, right? Like, was it a launch title or
Morrowind was exclusive?
It was close-ish for 360 for a while. It came out PS3 later, but it was like definitely a 360 game first and foremost. So
I do think remaking Morrowind would be a much bigger undertaking, though.
Challenge.
Yeah,
it's just so
that game is not
though.
mechanically great.
Yeah, it's hard. But that's also another reason. Like, I feel like you can play Oblivion; it's still kind of rough, but it's playable. Morrowind is like, like people like you and like couldn't play Morrowind. Like it's just
People
just
like
like
Ewan.
you know what I mean. I can just
The
imagine
Ewans
playing
of
it.
My
Yeah, just playing
The
it for
people who
like
haven't played Oblivion, they're in for a treat. Like everyone reckons the Skyrim intro goes hard. Like Oblivion's intro goes hard. Like Patrick
Oblivion's-
Stewart,
Yeah.
man.
yeah.
I
that-
did play
when
a
you
bit of Oblivion like post Skyrim because I think I was loving Skyrim.
I feel like
and my
that would
friend
be
was like,
hard.
"Oh man, I loved Oblivion," and we kind of played a bit on his PC. But I was like, "Yeah, just it
Yeah,
like
see,
it felt
this is
at
what I
that
mean.
point in time a
This is
little
what I mean.
rougher."
Ewan can't even play
That much
Oblivion.
rougher,
Imagine
but-
Morrowind. Like fucking
I might have played a bit of Morrowind, but
that moment when you step out of the sewer, amazing moment. Very good. Nothing else like it at the time. Maybe.
is it a bit of a Breath of the Wild sort of esque moment? Is it that
Sure,
kind of
we'll go with that.
open vista?
If that's
Yeah.
the comparison you need.
Yeah.
Look,
that's-
I would love to play some Oblivion. I'm like hankering for an Elder Scrolls game. But truthfully, it was that kind of like enthusiasm for that style of game that had me playing Avowed earlier this year. And I'd love to get back to that game, but I've kind of been sidetracked by other new releases. And Atomfall was like another open world game that I was really enjoying that I'd love to find some time to get back to as well. So
Yeah,
it's just
it's
a
like
little
packed
bit
for them.
like
Hey.
Game Pass doesn't need this game right now, if you ask me.
It's also like a lot of big games all at once.
Yeah. Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows is another one that just these open world games as well make it harder. Rapid fire time, I think it is. How about we chat about our love of Xbox controllers? I know we all love our special edition Xbox controllers, the never-ending barrage of them that seems to be released. I was keen for your thoughts on the newly announced Doom the Dark Ages Xbox controller, an Elite controller as well, and a console wrap. So I might just go each of these, yay or nay on each. Shannon, first to you, the controller, yay or nay?
There's two controllers.
Yay,
isn't
big yay.
A big yay
the
for
standard.
both standard. What about the Elite?
I like
yay as well.
I love them both. They're both different and great.
Console
different
wrap.
ways.
Are you about a console wrap?
No.
No. I'm the same. I do prefer the look of the Elite controller, but console wrap can't be bothered this day and age. Brody?
I like the look of the console wrap and its companion controller, I suppose. I didn't like the Elite quite as much.
Oh, okay. A little bit different. James?
It's transparent, red. That's how can you not like it?
It was my turn.
I don't fucking care.
More like console crap. Am I right? Yeah. I no. Like the Elite is cool, but then I'll have to replace it in 7 months when it breaks, and I won't be able to get another one. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
that issue with the Elite
Yeah,
controllers.
it's like it's tough, but it's a hard life being an Xbox person. But yeah, I
Lucky
guess
they'll have a new controller the next week for you
Absolutely,
to just replace
yeah.
it with.
I'm just on a rotating basis. No, yeah, I think it looks great if you like that kind of thing, but it's not for me. Any of
Yeah.
it, personally.
I
It's a
must
bit- it's
admit,
a
I
bit
didn't
like-
know how the wraps worked for the Xbox Series X, and it just
I mean, it's
feels a
in the name.
little weird to me. Well, like yeah, but I was kind of imagining more of like a
magnets, isn't it?
sticker, like a decal
like
sort of
little
thing.
hooks.
But it just it's like a little like insulated blanket that like
Does it not
goes around
overheat the console now that I think of it? Like,
that
surely
was-
that's the worst thing to do.
Well, I think the Xbox it just vents all the hot air
No,
out
the
the
vents
top,
at the
right?
But
top,
still,
isn't it?
And I imagine
Like
they're
a
rather
neoprene
like
wrap.
light and thin. Like they're not
Did
going to be
anybody
like fucking
buy
woody
the
blankets.
Starfield one to test? Do we know?
no.
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 Have you
Because
not
it
been
wasn't
sent
coming
one of
here,
these at some
remember?
point in time?
No,
Shannon?
because
Like-
they weren't good enough for Australia, and then they came at some point. But like the moment it passed,
So you've
at
never
that
touched a
point,
wrap?
I
Wow.
haven't touched a wrap. Maybe this true one will be
Maybe
the
it's
moment.
in the stars for you this May.
Yeah, I can only hope so.
Me too.
Once I get it, I'll love it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't.
All
I
right.
just think the vibe is like. I know this was rapid fire.
The inside looks cooler than the outside as well. That confused me. Like, I don't think it's reversible. It's just the inside
yeah, I
is
think
red and the
looks
inscriptions
like-
and stuff.
one like something like someone who listens to like Marilyn Manson would like cover their console in back in the mid '90s. Like there was, it's a bit too edgelord for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum like that. Let's instead play What the Wiki, the Press Start podcast game show, with the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game, and we, the contestants, must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess, with the round ending after someone bags themselves 2 points, unless you clean sweep it, which is exactly what Brody did last week, bumping his lead up by 4 points now. You got 13 points in total, Brody. James and I are tied in second place behind you on 9 points, and Shannon, you're bringing up the rear with 5 points. But Brody, of course, as last week's winner, you are in the hosting chair today. Take it away when you are ready.
Thank you. My internet is shitting itself, so this will be interesting.
Oh no,
it's starting to wane. I can sense it. Now,
your Xbox heard us talking about it and started downloading
shit. Now, to try something a little bit different, and in celebration of The Last of Us coming out, Season 2, I'm going to do something I call What the Casty. I'm going to read cast members from video game / TV adaptations.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to read them in, like, descending order of importance to, like, make it somewhat interesting. And then, obviously, first person to guess the movie gets it. If we don't get it after all the cast members, I'll just read the synopsis, and then it's just whoever gets in quickest from there. All right. What the Casty coming up. All right. Cast member number 1. Rosario Dawson. Bella Thorne. Paul Giamatti. John Goodman.
Are they
Sylvester...
video game movies? Are you allowed to?
Are these people... Wait, are these people in one
These are people...
movie?
These are cast... Yeah. Cast members of one video game movie so far.
Ah.
Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Sylvester Stallone, Jim Ward,
What the fuck
David Kay, James Arnold Taylor. I have read all the main cast. So I will now pivot to the synopsis.
Wait, no. Can you read the cast again?
No.
Sure.
Because I wasn't paying attention at the start.
Go.
I was busy getting my head around.
Synopsis.
Rosario Dawson, Bella Thorne, Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Sylvester Stallone, Jim Ward, David Kay, James Arnold Taylor. The fact that the two leads are people you've never fucking heard of might be a little bit of a hint, possibly. Nevertheless.
Rosario Dawson and Bella Thorne the leads.
No. The leads are last.
They should be disqualified for not listening properly. You know,
synopsis.
Automatically.
I did say descending importance, but nevertheless.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was
my
confused.
brain stem was descending.
It's a buddy comedy, by the way. When the galaxy comes under threat of a nefarious space captain, a mechanic and his newfound robot ally... Ewan.
Is this the Ratchet and Clank movie?
It is the Ratchet and Clank movie. Well done, Ewan. Well done.
Sylvester Stallone is in the Ratchet and Clank movie?
You better believe it. James is dying. Wow. All right. This one may be a bit quicker and easier. We'll get this with the cast, I'm sure.
Okay.
All right. Bobby Lee. Gina Gershwin. Or Gershon, whatever her name is.
The Gersh.
Janina Gavankar. Ariana Greenblatt. Florian Monteau. Ewan.
I could clean. Is this Borderlands?
It's Borderlands, baby. He's done it.
Baby, let's go.
Oh, I didn't even get to do the one I wanted to do.
I think we do them all anyway.
All right.
You deserve that.
Why the hell not? All right. Third one. Kate McKinnon. Tony Hale. Keegan-Michael Key. Sean Penn. Shannon.
No, I don't know.
Ewan, did you have
Bros. Movie, but it's not.
Keegan-Michael Key.
I was going to guess the super... Yeah.
Sean Penn is not in that, though.
Peter
Dinklage.
To the game.
I am Sam
Peter Dinklage.
Bill Hader. Maya Rudolph. Danny McBride.
This movie sounds great.
Josh Gad. And Jason Sudeikis. The synopsis.
Awful.
When an island populated by happy, flightless birds is visited by mysterious green pigs.
Oh, no.
Angry Birds, the movie.
It is the Angry Birds movie. Well done. And the last one, just to round it out. Okay, who we got here? This is a bunch of nobodies.
Can I get a point? I need
Robert Mamone. Andrew Bianarski. Grand L. Bush. Roshan Seth. Byron Mann. Simon Callow. Damien Chapper. Kylie Minogue. Raul Julia. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Shannon.
Yeah, I think James had said Street Fighter. Yeah. So it was Street Fighter the movie. Well done. And well done, Ewan, for the clean sweep.
Thank you.
What a film
We're all
buff.
winners.
Not at all.
Except you guys, Ewan especially.
With that, let's bring an end to what was this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listen or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at PressStartAU and visit the site at pressstart.com.au. We've been joined today and shaking up what the wiki. It was Brody.
Thanks. You can follow me on most things at Brody_DG.
I may be biased, but I did really like that switch up to the What the Wiki formula. That was good fun. Also joining us today was James.
Yeah, you can find me on X at James, ATJMZ.
Are you going to catch up on the episode 1 of The Last of Us, James?
No. I'm gonna
Episode 2 Monday.
He's going to go straight to 2.
I'm away next week, so I will not be. I won't have time to watch it.
Oh, I forgot you were. Yeah. And last but not least, it was Shannon.
Yes, you can follow me at Shannon Grixty.
And I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxborough. We'll be back next week, but until then, happy gaming.
Bye.